Okay, here goes another one of my crazy videos. I'm getting ready to go down and work on my Trans Am, but I don't know, maybe this will help somebody. You know how to get out of debt. This is just part of it. Might seem kind of silly, but I'm going to show you something. Here's my garbage can. When you throw stuff in the garbage, rip it up small, cut it up, and fit as much as you can in there. And since I moved from California to Washington, I'm just going to take the camera out the window while I'm talking. I have not had garbage service for 15 years. So you just pack your garbage in, rip up your boxes, bend your cans. I mean within reason. And then I'll show you. Okay, now I'm outside. Again, I for a long time I kept looking for ways to save money, and I am out of debt. But so you just get a can like this. I don't know where I got this. It's free. It's a garbage can, but I mean I don't have garbage service. I just have this can, and you just pack your bags as tight as you can. And I just go to the dump like once a month, and then I can whatever, if I got stuff around the yard. I got a big yard, huge yard, way down there. This is my shop, by the way. When I make videos, there. Let's see if you can see it. See that red can? That's the compressor, and that's the propane tank. Anyway, once a month, $10 it costs, plus gas, and it's just one more way. Everything you do, try to find a way to save some money, and eventually everything you have will be paid for. This place is paid for. It's just, in other words, you only have to work. You could make half the amount of money and live twice as good once you get out of debt. Now, if you get out of debt and you're still making the same amount of money you were making in the first place, you're doubling your money. It's insane the amount of money you can make or save. So I'm just walking around. Here's my truck, like a truck. I wanted the truck, but I didn't want to buy a brand new truck. I got this truck for $4,000. It's a Super Duty at 2000. Paid cash. There's no dents. It runs perfect. I think the reason they sold it so cheap is that it's a V10, which sucks gas. But I'm not working anymore, and the amount of gas that I use it doesn't matter. I use a tank of gas maybe once a month. I mean, everything works. It's all power. It's 4-wheel drive. Came with Warren hubs. Came with this. I'm not sure what this bar. I'll call it a brush bar, but you could put. I think somebody had lights on here. And you could put a winch on here. I mean, this thing is solid. I'm pulling as hard as I can, and I'm pretty strong. I know I'm off subject. I always get off subject. Then this house came with a backup generator if the power ever goes out. Then I got a propane tank. It came with that. That runs the backup generator. This generator starts itself up once a week. It runs for 10 minutes. It came with this cyclone fence. all the way around the back property, back of the house. I love this place. Right there, I'm looking at my side yard, I guess. Here's the truck on the house. That piece of property right there goes for like 5 acres and there's nothing back there. It's just awesome. If you're familiar with Mount Washington, Mount Rainier is right back over there. You can't see it anymore because all these trees grew. That's another thing. If you buy a house, buy it that has trees and plants that you don't have to plant. Because usually I do. Every house I bought, I had to plant. Not on this one. Anyway, I was talking about garbage. So I'm gonna go to the dump. I'm gonna go down and work on the car. I'm in the mood for working on it. That's it. Oh, and by the way, since I guess I'm talking about money again, this water heater right here I put in, it's called a heat pump water heater. It runs on almost nothing. Let's see if I can see what it costs a year to run. $110 a year. And then it's got a condensation drain. You can see it, it's a white line. I just run it outside. So it takes the heat out of the air. And when I bought it, there was a rebate of $1,000 in it, and the water heater cost $1,200. And I got a new pressure tank. I insulated all the lines. These filters used to be under the house when I bought the house, which it was crazy to get out, so I just moved them out. I'm on a well, so the water first comes in here. That catches most of the sediment. And then anything that happens to get by will go into this one. This one hardly ever gets anything in there. So, and then I got a recycling motor. I'm gonna put my foot on it. I don't know what you can see because it's a little viewfinder. So, again, why did I do this? To save money. I'm not into money. I'm into not wasting it. And then this room I'm walking into, let me back up again. So when I bought this house, this shop was here. I mean, this 3-car garage was here. Hard to get a view in here with this camera. But it didn't have a permit, so I went down and I got it permitted. Had to do some work. Here's a car paid for. Here's my car paid for. Again, used. Oh, by the way, the story on this car is I bought extended title insurance, they call it, on this house. Because I knew that some of the parts of the house were not permitted, and I read the fine print on the title insurance, and it said if you if you run into things that aren't permitted, they will pay for it. This car was paid by the title company because I filed a claim of all the money that we spent to bring some of the parts of the house that weren't permitted. I got a check for I think it was $25,000 paid for this car. Now I'm walking in the house, turn the light off. This room here, if it focuses, let me zoom in and out. We're in the dark. This was the old garage. So it's impossible for me to show you how it looked. I think if you look up somewhere back, I had a video asking the engineer a question, but so I raised the floor up. There was a step, insulated it out of the bathroom, and now this is just an extra room. And again, it wasn't permitted, so I got it permitted, and that was, again, the title insurance paid for it. And this room over here where I always hang out, this was a dog room. So I added these French doors, raised that floor up because that had a step. That was a concrete floor. Insulated that. I guess this is just my TV music room. And then I picked this room. This is a pretty big house, but I picked this room because I could just shut it off. And it's got this little wall heater. It will keep the temperature low. And I can just heat this room up. Keep the rest of the house at 69. And keep warm in this room. And then that room over there, same thing. That room can be heated up separately. Put French doors there. Again, that used to be the garage. And then this room has a gas fireplace that runs off that propane tank, but we never use it because we hang out in those back rooms now. Again, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it's because we looked at ways to try to save money, and in the end, it paid off. Just walking around. So this house came with no curtains because we don't really need it. We're on a hill, but again, just talking about money. These are blinds. And I saved 50% by installing them myself. And all it was basically just ordering them the right size and screwing them into the existing window frame. The amount of money you can save by just working these things out, it's crazy. We're still going to put a granite top in here one of these days. But there's no rush. It works fine. The cabinets are fine. Anyway, it's just an extra video. Just walking around. I'm going to end this in a second. I take all my banana peels or scrap. Just throw them out on the side. Like that. That's like fertilizing, free fertilizer. Again, here's the fence that came with the property. I'm in the back of the house. It's just a great place. I'm gonna add a deck here someday. But being up on top of the hill, it's peaceful, it's quiet. And it'll never flood. That's for sure. It's just awesome. Awesome. I'm so lucky. So lucky. Oh, this cat door right here. I can't see it, but I put a roof on it. This is where all my life I was in construction. I never really hurt myself. But making that stupid little thing, I cut the tip of my thumb off. I put it right into the table saw blade. I don't know how I did it. Cut the 1/4 inch off my thumb. There's the cat coming out. That's it.